All right, folks. So Canada says we need to have 3 to 5 million more homes by 2030 in Canada. Well, let me tell you something. It will absolutely not happen. I have data to support it. And by the way, companies, construction companies are getting completely broke because the exact pyramid that built it is upside down. There's really no profit. So if we remember, like going back, let's say 2 decades ago, the number one reason why people actually went into that field, construction field, development field, builder field, making all these renovations and everything else that belongs there, is because of profit. People smelled money. They felt a trajectory. They wanted to be in it, not because they loved it, putting on construction boots at 4 a.m., being stuck in traffic. It's making money. That was the entire point. Subsidies, making money, people were spending, but data shows otherwise nowadays. And I'll get into that in a second here. So, in 2023, 1,264 construction companies failed. In 2024, 1,530 companies failed. That's a jump year over year by 21%. It is extremely concerning, and yet everybody is pushing that. 3 to 5 million dollar homes we need to build, and in order to balance it out, in order to have the equilibrium, in order for the actual market to get back on track, in order for the affordability to be on the table. It's not happening. That's just the bottom line of it. We're hitting an extreme recession at this point. And even your fellow construction workers, your neighbors, your friends, your family that's in the field understands exactly what I'm talking about. So all of you guys, please comment below and like this video, and let's move forward. All right, so that means Ontario alone accounts for roughly 40 to 45% of failure out of these numbers. Why? Because Southern Ontario is one of the big economic drivers of Canada, right? So obviously we have British Columbia that's, has, in my opinion, has an uptick on the luxury segment, right? The location is a little bit different, has the scenery is a little bit different in British Columbia. However, the driver is Ontario, Southern Ontario, and it's failing miserably. All right, so the pipeline damage, I want to talk about that because this is very important. When builders fail, projects stop. When projects stop, the future housing supply disappears. And we already see that. So 32 housing developments already canceled since 2024, nearly 7,000 homes lost, another 4,000 homes stalled or tied up in receivership. So that's about 11,000 homes already removed from the pipeline. The builder problem, one of the biggest problems is when talking to people, when talking to my friends and builders and everything else. It's a common problem across the board when it comes to businesses that are feathering or failing, or they have issues. And it's not reinventing yourself, if you know what I'm saying. So we don't have a product and then you have to kind of reinvent or repackage a product in order to make it attractive again. No, it's the problem is risk, money involvement, risk. So someone that is buying a piece of land today needs to run through hoops, through the city, through red tape in order to get permits. That takes time. Then everything else went up. Like if we go the number, construction costs are up between 40 to 50% since 2020. Let that sink in. So if someone is calculating the total cost plus risk plus the adjustment, right? Plus minus, depending, because there are always issues that is hard to predict. So you got to have a buffer, like 5%, 10%, depending on the experience and the knowledge, right? But that builder needs to take all the risk, needs to finish the project and be underwater when finished or done. Because the trajectory of real estate is going the other way around, which means why are they even doing that? Because there's no money or there's no profit to be made, only risk. So when you take that into consideration, then you look at the other side. It's not only the developer and the builder, there's everything else associated with that. So we're talking about huge job losses, right? So architects don't work, Home Depots don't work, landscaping companies don't work, realtors don't work, marketing companies. So there's an entire branch of different chain branches involved when it comes to one particular field. And our field in Ontario, right? One of the biggest contributors in Southern Ontario is construction. That's what we lived off for decades upon decades. And now it is actually falling apart faster than you believe. And in one of my videos that I already made, I mentioned that already. When cost of build exceeds the actual resale, the pyramid is upside down, and that's a huge issue. So I hope you gained some value out of this video. So please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.